Daar sê, welkom terug by nog 'n episode van Dit is my storie. Vanaand die derde en finale episode van Juan Venter se lewensverhaal oor kanker. Julle het op die vorige twee gesien wat ons 'n bietjie ingelig het en 'n pad met ons begin stap het om ons te verduidelik waartoe hy gaan en 'n bietjie agtergrond te skets. Nie wat kanker behels nie, maar wat die behandeling behels, waartoe 'n persoon gaan en vir ons 'n bietjie insig gee in die emosionele staat van homself, hoe hy daaroor voel en wat hy daaroor dink. En met die derde episode wat nou gekom, die afsluit daarvan, nie heeltemal die afsluit nie, want hy gaan ons 2-3 sessies ondergaan met chemo. Dan kom maar so 'n tydperk waar die liggaam eers die skokke moet verwerk en dan as ek reg is vir 6 maande terug, die opvolg en daai goed is langtermyn wat ek by John gaan aanklop om te hoor hoe die proses gaan. Persoonlik vir my het dit baie beteken, gee my daai agtergrond en ek hoop vir julle ook dat dit iets vir julle beteken het. Verseker, John, vreeslik baie dankie dat jy die guts gehad het om met ons te kom praat daaroor. Kon verseker nie maklik gewees het nie. Jy's nou weer deur nog 'n sessie, sterkte. Maar as mense aan die ander kant ook van Juan Venter, Charmaine, wat hierdie pad saam met jou stap, gesigloos gaan probeer kyk van Charmaine so voetjie kan kry, iemand wat jou hand aan die linkerkant ook vashou, dan het jy jou seun Guy aan die regterkant. Jy het jou familie rondom jou, jy het vriende rondom jou. Jy is nie alleen in hierdie geveg nie. Maar vir ons is dit maklik om te praat, jy is die ou wat in die stoel moet gaan sit, jy is die ou wat moet opstaan en moet terugvlieg en deur die episode moet gaan van herstel. Met die derde episode wat ons gaan afsluit, gaan ons saamvat en ons gaan aanbeweeg. Voor ek aangaan, Wimpie Bosse, baie dankie, dit is my storie, ek nog 'n Engelse hemp kry, miskien op die agtergrond Wimpie, this is my story. Having said that, welcome to the third and final episode of This is my story, where we're going to continue and sort of finalize with Juan Venter's life story of his battle with cancer. So let's move on. This is my story, third and final episode of Juan Venter's battle with cancer.
You mentally have to fight it, because if you mentally give up, then you stuff. And it's...
Maybe I should put it this way. Did you ever blame God for what you're going through?
No.
But would you say if somebody does that, it's human?
Yeah.
No.
It's totally human for somebody to blame, but no, not for a shadow of a doubt that I would blame him for that. It's a life, and that's our bodies, and that's the type of world we're living on the moment, you know. A lot of cancers is hereditary, you know, so you didn't have a say in that, and my cancer, they still can say exactly. Some of the lymphomas is more chemically induced from chemicals and being exposed to chemicals and stuff like that. So that's possibly, maybe could have maybe got it, because I used to work a lot in woodworking and a lot with chipboard. And because in my mind rattled all the time, where could have got it from, you know? So it's difficult to say, because I've searched high and low in Google, you know, Google knows everything. But nowhere can they say it's this and that, you know, so it's a tough one. So we went off the story a little bit now, you know, but no, I never blame God.
Yeah. How do you approach the spiritual side on this, now making time with God? Is there a more intense situation where you will make more time now for him than it was before this? You know what I'm trying to say to
be honest with you, no, because I think I've realized that it's so much of intense, nearly your own fight, that I've been concentrating more on my own sanity, my own thoughts, and my own, because out of experience or out of time, you realize that there's not a magic wand, it's not gonna, it's just not gonna go away tomorrow, you know what I mean? It's there, as much as that we would believe that would just be cured, but we do believe that it is going to work, and this is part of his plan, that you've got to accept now what you've got to do to get healed, So I think if you don't believe that you were going to get cured in the end of the day, then and still believe that this is not going to work, then I think you can be in the same boat. But if you then still carry on believing that this is part of his plan, and that this is part of the cure, man, and this is a part of the journey that you've got to go through, and in some ways I nearly feel blessed that I actually go through this now, because
hang on, you feel blessed? Come on.
No, but yes, yes or no, but I mean, it can only make me a stronger person. It can only make me, in a sense, that I would have a better understanding that somebody that will go through cancer or anything like it, what they're actually really going through, So in one way it's a good learning curve, but it's not something that's pleasant, so it's not a blessing.
It's just a bit of a few days. How has it changed John? Is there a different John that wakes up every morning now, the way you go about seeing life, or the morning, sunrise, sunset, is different now?
No, I think I'm still the same person, but I'm sure I've changed, that I'm a little bit more withdrawn, just because you are, I think also you've realized that not everybody is jumping overboard and saying, out there to try and help you or anything. You're busy, you suddenly realize that you're pretty much on your own, So sorry,
your outlook on life, has it changed?
Yes, that you've got to enjoy what the day that you get, and you've got to live that day to its fullest, because we don't know when we get dished this out, So definitely it's changed my outlook that material things is not important. It drives our lives, it's important, but I mean that can be taken away so quickly, So I think your mental health, well-being is a lot more important,
John, where do you see yourself, or how do you see yourself in or can one actually ask that in a month's time, or 3 or 4, going forward?
I think at this stage it's going to be difficult, and even between the next sessions, because we'll still be in the same point where I am now, still going through it and fighting, just trying to feel better, every day. I think it's only afterwards, once you've received your last chemo and you've had a few weeks to get through it and get to a point where you start feeling like a human again, and then go through tests again and scans to see that this whole episode actually worked, and where do we now really stand, So I think the outlook then will be then different and reflect back as to what's happened, and then see what your future look like.
Maybe a difficult question. Jab, no jab. Cancer treatment, no cancer treatment.
Yeah.
In terms of cancer treatment, everybody's got his own point of view in terms of treatment, what they're putting in your body. What's your take on this in terms of getting the treatment or not? And do you respect people out there that says, listen, I don't want the treatment? That you might be in this position in a year's time, and now you're confronted with this. You hear people talk about getting treatment or no treatment, and there's a lot of beliefs outside. But for you making the decision to say, I'm going to get treatment, irrespective of what they put in my body, was that an easy decision to make or a difficult one? And then the way your body reacts to this and the way your gut formed klaar, and now tomorrow is on your plate, is there a point where you might say, I've had enough, and was it easy to get to the decision to, I'm going to get treatment and I'll stay with the treatment?
Yeah, when you asked me that question before, it was for me it was nearly it wasn't never a case that I was before cancer. I said, no, if I get cancer, I'm not going to go for it. But then
wait, hang on. You said you'll not go. If you do get, you won't go.
I was not going to get any
Why?
chemotherapy, and because I believe that my body and I'm mentally strong enough to fight this thing. But then when I got it, and I saw how quickly this thing grew, and then realized this thing is not playing around. We need to move on this one, So, and different cancers are different, You get cancers that is slow moving and it stays in one place, and you got time,
Yeah.
But in my case, on mine is one of the fairly aggressive ones, so it grows very quickly, and it can then spread quite rapidly through the body because it's a blood cancer, so blood runs through the whole body, so it can get nasty very quickly, so and when I started to research it, I've realized that there's good prognosis, and then all the research, there was the CHOP regime, for the lymphomas, and then it's not all the same, there's the differences and everything, but when they said to me, no, it's the CHOP, I was fairly comfortable that there was not really another alternative.
The question that we sometimes get from Christians, saying that as believers, we don't make use of treatment. What's your view on that?
There's so many different facets of believers, different denominations, and you get certain believers that won't take any jabs or any treatment for that, and they said no, God will heal everything. But then the question is then, why is there doctors, and why is God given talents and everything to doctors to heal us, and medicine and everything for us for treatments? I do understand that there is a lot of political pressures and pharmaceutical companies that do push certain products and everything, but in the overall end of the day, they are there to try and heal people as well, just as a strong believer as what we are, so no, I don't feel that is any question that that you shouldn't then take the jab or anything like that. But you need to weigh up the pros and cons, and not everything that everybody say it's good is not always to say it's good. And same with the chemo, it's not good stuff that I put in here, but that's the best way that I figured out to try and treat it, so yeah.
Ja, There we go, and this will more or less be episode 3 or 4. I'm going to touch base with John maybe in a month's time. He's coming down for 2 or 3 more sessions, but we will touch base. For me, it's an eye-opener. Obviously, when John was diagnosed, we all knew what was going on, but to hear it in person from somebody explaining it to us the way he did now, and I hope and I believe that it will sort of open a new window for you guys in terms of understanding what somebody goes through, especially if you don't know somebody that's been diagnosed or been through something like this. So hence the reason why I've asked him to come to Studio 91 and tell his story, and it's a difficult story. So John, thanks so much. Tomorrow morning it's time for a 6-hour session. Best of luck, good luck, and then I do hope to see you again in a month's time when you come down again. So at the end of, because your story is going to continue, it's going to continue. To end off, what would you, or any messages to a message to the viewers, people tuning or watching, that you would like to give them?
Firstly, I just want to say thank you for the invite. It was really great to sit and chat. I think it worked out well, you know, instead of me just bobbering around and put everybody to sleep, you know.
Because he was sort of me alone in front of this thing, I pulled me in.
And yeah, that just makes it more personal, you know, gives a more personal feel to it. So I think what I want to put across is that you need to believe in yourself, and you need to mentally be prepared, and that is for everything, you know, and for any aspects of life, you know. Don't take just everything for granted, and live for every day, you know. God gives 12 hours for every person every day, and it depends on what you do with it, you know. If you're going to squander it or you're going to make it work, you know.
Thanks so much. Episode whatever we've got here. This is John, and you now need to end off. This is my story. Afrikaans and English. Okay. That is John.
And this is my story.
This is John. And this is his story. Thanks so much. We'll continue with this. Thanks, John.
Thank you everybody for watching, and Calvert voor die camera.
Daar sê jy. Net so vinnig enetjie volgende week. Super opgewonde. Ek gaan 2 gaste in my atelier. Hilton Marie en Anita Engelbrecht. Gaan nie baie verklap nie, gaan nie baie sê nie, maar ek is super opgewonde. Hulle noem hom Langman. Hilton. Hy's net so 'n bietjie langer as ek. En die dametjie wat saam met hom gaan wees, kyk na die insetsel. Ek sien julle volgende week.
Van die Caddy kampanje het ons saam toestemming gekry, ook die eerste joggers wat saam daar deelgeneem het.
Dit is ultimately hoekom ek op die pad is, om persepsies te verander, grense te verskuif en dan ook hoop te deel. Want daar staan in die Bybel, as ons nie goeie hoop sal deel nie, sal die klippe dit uitskree. So ek wil daarom ook net eendag, as die klippe uitskree, wil ek net eendag kan sê, ek het my deel gedoen. En hoe gelukkig is ons nie om dit op so 'n manier te doen wat eintlik ons passie is. En ek dink ek en Milton is ewe lief vir avontuur en goed wat die adrenaline kom. So hoe gelukkig is ons nie om op so 'n manier uiting te gee aan dit waarin ons glo en 'n bietjie hoop te deel nie.